The big three have plans before the end of the year.
Yes.
So currently, as it sits, we are not only looking at new releases from these big three, but cameras.
Yes.
Which feels like
2025 is going to go down as one of the big 2024 is going to go down as one of
checking the year.
one of the biggest years in camera
release history.
I'm
not even gonna say release history because Nikon buying Red, I felt like was a big moment too.
2024, like we'll look back to 2024 and be like, dang, something was done that year.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and kick it off with your love child so we can just get them out of the way.
Yes.
Let's talk about what Canon's got planned for this year.
So I can't talk about Canon without talking about Nikon because Nikon did something crazy this year in releasing the Z6 Mark III.
They did.
And the Z6 Mark III, I actually need to pull it up because like while we shot with it, I'm still like, oh.
Dude, there's so many camera specs to try to keep up with. There's no way we will ever keep up with all of them.
And y'all be calling us out. So
but I will say, I'll give a few of the specs that I know for sure.
For sure.
Oh, you got them up?
Yeah, I got them up.
Go for it.
So the 24.5 megapixel partially stacked CMOS sensor, 6K 60 and a mirrorless body.
I'll be honest with you. Jarrell looked up those specs because before the show, I told him that camera shot 6K 60 and he was like, no. Like I was
like, for how long does it shoot 6K 60?
He looked at me and was like, wow. And I could see in his brain, Brandon got that wrong.
No, well, I was like, how are they doing it?
It's insane, right?
How are they doing it?
6K 60 for $2,500.
Seriously, in RAW.
Yes.
In RAW. Okay, so yeah, those are the videos features that we care about. And the CF Express Type B memory slot, really cool. Now, when they dropped that, and especially dropped it at the $2,500 price point
yes,
this year, they were the first camera of 2024 that I think sent shockwaves.
Yeah.
That said to both Sony and to Canon, what you got?
Bro.
And so while Canon dropped some incredible cameras this year, the R1, the R5 Mark II, the C80, the C400, at the $2,500 price point, we saw very... What?
No R5 Mark II?
That's what I said. I didn't say it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Check. They had nothing in the 20... Well, they did have some in the 2500. They had the R6 Mark II in the 2500.
Yeah.
But Canon quite quickly dropped their R6 Mark II down to $2,000.
Yes, they did.
Because I feel like when looking at the two cameras, the R6 Mark II, it does not compete spec-wise with the Z6 Mark III.
Not even close.
So we've been hearing some rumors because Canon said it, and they're standing on it. 5 cameras in 2024. And we still got a camera to go. So we believe that in November, there's going to be an R6 Mark III announcement.
Yeah.
In that $2,500 range. But that's going to be more competitive with the Z6 Mark III. We just saying stuff like, I don't know if I'm saying the right titles.
These are alleged.
Z6 Mark III. Yes.
Yes.
They're going to do 6K.
Okay.
30. But this is just rumors.
Yeah.
It's just rumors.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly. So Canon, on top of releasing 3 cinema variable lenses.
So
hybrid lenses, I think what they're calling them.
Yeah, hybrid lenses is what they're going by.
We are looking at an R6 Mark III being announced and maybe even shipping in 2024.
I think there's no way that it ships that fast.
Man, I hope.
I can't imagine. Now, I believe
there's incentive for them too.
Well, yes.
With holiday incentives.
There is holiday incentives. I mean, they must be like, maybe because of the price point of the camera, they know it's going to move. They'll be like one of the first camera companies to launch and then ship, aside from like what Red does. But nobody does that. Like, except for Red, nobody announces, takes orders, and ships
for sure.
Especially in the span of like a week. Especially not Canon. They actually, like the R1 is it actually shipping yet or no?
Some people have gotten it.
Some people are, people are claiming that they're getting it.
We'll talk about that when we talk about Sony.
Okay. So it's insane to me right now that Canon still has another camera to drop this year. But you're right. At the beginning of the year, Somebody go find the clip. Jarrell said, the Canon said, 5 cameras in 2024.
Allegedly.
And I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
But.
Because we were thinking, oh, we're going to get a cool Pix.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get.
That little vloggy cam.
Yeah, we ain't getting no like 5 legitimate cameras. And they've come out with, up till now, 4 bangers.
Yeah. No, they've absolutely crushed it. So I think an R6 Mark III would absolutely put the final stamp, even if the R6 Mark III is not better than the Nikon Z6 III, which I don't think it will be. But I could be wrong. We'll see when it actually comes out.
6K 60 RAW seems like you're asking for an overheating mess.
But see, here's the thing. It's not just 6K 60 RAW. It's 6K 60 RAW internal.
Oh, 100%.
Which, like, we get, like, crazy RAW external all day. I mean, even, like, Sony just announced new external Blackmagic RAW. You know what I mean? So, like, but to do it internal makes it crazy. So I don't think Canon, I don't think they have the tech. Like, if they did it.
Is the R3?
No.
Does the R3 not do the 6K 60?
No, it does 6K 30. I think so. I gotta double check.
Let's see.
Double check it. But it's crazy to me that even if Canon doesn't beat the Z6 III, I still think
they do 6K 60.
It does.
But bro, to literally take the sensor out of the R3, when the R3's already been beat up a little bit because of the R1, to put it in the in the R6 Mark III for $2,500,
the R3's dead.
But there's been rumors that, I mean, we're not talking about all the rumors, but the R3 supposedly is not dead.
No.
Canon
I mean, the current version.
Yeah.
The current version would be dead at that point.
If they put 6K 60, question.
Yeah.
Could they come out with it quicker? And obviously, that's just one part of the camera. Could they come out with it quicker if they're just taking the R3 sensor and putting it into the R6 Mark III? You still have to manufacture the body, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
I mean, but if you take most of the R6 Mark II body and you just pump it over,
dude,
could be pretty quick.
Dude.
I gotta say,
let's go, Canon.
This comment here actually kills it. He says, this is the best time to be alive. It really is. The cameras are
Canon fan people.
Oh gosh, I was talking about.
He didn't say that during Sony.
We haven't even got to Sony yet. I'm just saying, it is a crazy time to be alive. Canon is absolutely crushing it with the Z. If we can get an R6 Mark III along with these new hybrid lenses from Canon, 2024 will be the year that Canon walked back into the room.
100%.
It will go down in history as the year that Canon said, we are all in on mirrorless, which we did want 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But if they were strategic then to say, we're going to write off 2023, 2022.
Yeah.
Like 2020, shut everything down. It was like 2024, we'll just hold everything for that year. And we're going to just, we'll give faith back to our Canon shooters then. I have to say, I think if you survived those years as a Canon shooter, 2024, you're pretty happy.
Question, because we'll ask this after each of the big three. Is this Canon news exciting to you? Like, obviously, all of the cameras dropped before.
Yep.
But an R6 Mark III, 6K, at least 30. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw it out there, put some pressure on Canon, 6K 60. Like, is that an exciting, are the new flavor of hybrid lenses? I believe like a 24 is coming out. I think they're thinking about a zoom. Like, are these, like, it's like tough because they're a little expensive.
Yeah.
Like in terms of these hybrid lenses, like that 24 to 105 is $3,000. It's a lot of money. It's a dope lens, but it is that's a hard one.
It's a hard buy.
It's you got to really like plan and think about it. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go pick up. I mean, that's 3 cinema lenses. That's
literally what I'm looking at. Like I think the 24 to 105, fantastic lens. Yeah. But I think I want a cinema zoom over that hybrid photography zoom.
Yeah. I will say for me, and it's obvious for Canon, I am excited because I feel like not everything that Canon produced this year was for me, but they produced some things for, like, there's some cameras, some lenses that I'm excited about.
That's good. All right, the next one in the big three. Can we go with my guy?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, we'll save. Yeah, we ain't got no Sony people on here, so we'll save them for last.
So Nikon might actually be dropping something new this year. Now, I'm going to be fully transparent. This camera could actually be not for me at all. But surprisingly, it's not the big Nikon cameras that have really impressed me the most.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Z9, phenomenal, heavy. Z8, use it regularly. A workhorse camera.
100%.
But for me, it's just a workhorse camera.
It's just a small Z9.
Yeah, it's just
smaller Z9.
It's a smaller Z9.
Yeah.
And then we got the Z6 III this year, which is a phenomenal camera. We shot it. We used it on the actual, for the launch video. Absolutely love that entire experience. But you know what camera has actually made me really excited with them?
What's that?
It has been the ZF. I don't really talk about it a lot, but that is probably like the camera that I use the most that I don't talk about because it's just a phenomenal camera. Now, the problem I have with it is the build. I had to buy a small rig handle for it, and then I put like a little thing so I can like rest my thumb. So just the ergonomics of it were a little off. And that's primarily because, it's designed to be like this retro style photography camera.
Yeah.
But it actually has phenomenal video features, like ridiculous video features.
And it's fun to take photos with.
And absolutely.
So much fun.
Dude, the shutter is so satisfying. Actually, the other day, a friend came over and he was playing around with it. And literally his response was, oh, that shutter is so satisfying. Like the small things, right? So now, speaking of small, it sounds like there's a rumor going on that we might be seeing another Nikon camera come out this year. And that would be a Z50 Mark II.
Yep.
Now, this is going to be a very entry-level camera, but it feels like it's in those smaller entry-level cameras where Nikon has been really pulling all the punches. Like, when it came to the Z6 III, they did not hold back, right? And even the ZF has 10-bit. Like, it's a photography camera. They threw 4K 10-bit in this camera. It's full frame, has great autofocus, fast readout, the whole night. Phenomenal camera for video. I'm really excited to see what they do in the Z50 because, like, I feel like Nikon is in a place where they kind of like Canon in the sense of Canon said, like, we can't hold anything back with our releases. Yep. Nikon has basically been saying we can't hold anything back when it comes to our specs. Like, let's throw everything we can in the camera.
What's really crazy about this stream is, and this I realized this week being on set, we're a little bougie. Like, we're talking about these 1200Xs, we're talking about the KXs, we're talking about the FX6. These are all expensive things. What's cool about the Z50 is the Z50, this is the Mark I, it's going for $856 right now on B&H. So there is the reality of when you started, when I started, on the T2i, on the Rebel, that camera was $500. I want to say $500 with the 50 millimeter, $550 maybe. Okay. Like, so it's one of those things that, like, we recognize that some of you guys, to a certain extent, might be in different places where Nikon's been killing the game, especially with their LUTs to make them look like Reds. And I think if this thing has 10-bit on it,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, this could be like the great starter camera, the
100%.
vlogging camera, like just that extra camera you can pick up. And there's almost no chance it doesn't sport the same Z mount. So, like, all these great Nikon lenses will be able to work right on it. So
now this is all allegedly. Allegedly. But November definitely seems like the month.
Yes.
That, like,
everybody's going to take their final big steps.
Yeah, you need to, because it feels like people have been winning and some people have been losing, but at the final end of the year, you might have put your exclamation point on the year and pull ahead of somebody. Now,
the one brand I think that could actually disrupt, like, Nikon's Z6 III is already out. So Canon has to try to make the R6 III seem better.
Yeah.
But the one area where I feel like Canon might have left the door open, and I've said this before, is on the R1. And so the current rumor is that Sony might have something to say about that.
Yeah, so we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that there's going to be a big Sony announcement in November, and this is allegedly, but I am hearing 100%.
This is
let's take it back. 99.9%.
Allegedly 99.9%
announcement in November, later November, like in the 20s and up. Anyways, and here's the interesting part, right? Because we know, and I know you think I bring it back to Canon, but Canon's R1 moved up their shipping date. Canon's R1 was supposed to start shipping, I think, November 24th. And do not hold me to these dates, but it was like later in the month.
Yep.
Conveniently, the R1 is now going to start shipping on November 14th. And I think it might be because
they're trying to get ahead of it.
Sony might be dropping possibly an A7 IV, which that's not the camera that I think the R1 might be concerned about.
Yeah. And
who knows if Canon knows, but there's allegedly business espionage. Like people be like reading some people's. Nah, I'm not gonna say. But there might be a little bit of that. Like they know little whispers and talks. There might be an A1 2, or is it A1
Mark II.
I was like thinking like, is it an A1 because it's the first one, or is it an A?
That's where
A1
these names are killing
they're killing
me, bro.
You're killing
These
me.
names are absolutely killing
me. So the A1 2 is allegedly being announced.
Yeah.
Flagship from Sony. Late November.
That's, to me, I'm like, Sony, like, if they do release an A1 Mark II, that could be great.
Mm-hmm.
It could be great for them. It just feels like in 2024, they've released a lot of cameras that I'm not going to say people didn't care about.
Yeah.
But, like, their existing shooters weren't like, they didn't feel like Canon shooters this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the
Canon released something for everybody.
A9 II came, went. I don't think anybody really switched over to it. I don't know anybody who shoots on it regularly. I don't know anybody. And I'm talking like influencers, professionals. Like, I don't know anybody. And if y'all are in the chat and you do own an A9 Mark II, please let me know. I just want to know. I just want to know one person who shoots on it. But they didn't release that. Like, that came and went. We also got a few.
A9 III.
A9 III, sorry. A9 III.
Yeah.
We also got, what was the other camera they released?
Oh.
The 6900?
Oh, the Brano.
Well, no, we're not talking about
They dropped the Brano.
We're not talking about the Brano.
The A9 III, the Brano, and
there was like a smaller camera that came out. I think it was like the A6700 or something like that. But again, came, went. Few videos came out, obviously on embargo day. A couple creators used it. And then after that, haven't really heard too much else about it.
Yeah.
If they release a A1 Mark II, I think it's going to go the way of the A9 III.
Some people will upgrade.
Few people upgrade.
But the sensor size is not changing.
And the A1 Mark I, the A1, is still a phenomenal. As far as I'm concerned, I think it still competes.
Yeah.
Even with the Canon R1.
Especially with the R1 not going higher in the megapixels. Like, I feel like Sony's not really pushed to upgrade the sensor on the A1 II. Yeah. Like, there's probably...
That's it. It was a ZVE. I don't think it was the ZVE 1. I think it was the ZVE 10. The crop one. But yeah.
They're not really pushed to do much because they've seen what the R1 has put out. Like, obviously, there's probably some AI stuff. There's probably some autofocus stuff that they want to shore up for dominance. But, like... They probably saw Canon's flagship. We said this a couple weeks ago. I think the flagships might be dead. They're needed for, like, pomp and circumstance. They're needed for journalists and Olympic shooters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.